Times as we're going along our awakening journey, we're going through these shifts and transformations on a profound level, and even on the level of our own identity. So our vibration is changing, and so what we resonate with is changing. This is something I want to relate to relationships and resonance, and why at different times as we're growing and expanding in areas of our life, and just in general expanding our own consciousness or stepping into a new version of ourselves, that we start to let go of certain relationships, or we don't resonate with certain people that we used to. Because there's a resonance that happens, right, in relationship between two people, that when you're at a certain point in your journey, there's certain thought patterns that as you expand, you start to realize that you don't resonate with those thought patterns the same way anymore. You start to recognize the limitation. You start to recognize that you don't resonate with people complaining, or you find yourself not complaining as much. Or perhaps you recognize that there was a relationship that you were not being met on a deeper level. Say you encounter someone new as you're in a new vibration or in a new state of being, and it's like you're resonating on this whole other level, and then it creates this contrast that makes you realize that this other relationship isn't satisfying and meeting you on a deeper level. So in this video, we're going to dive into why is that happening and how can we navigate these things. And I believe that as we're going through these shifts and we recognize that, say something isn't meeting us on a deep level or isn't satisfying a deep desire or need, it's like we can go through these periods of time when it almost still seems normal to the old self. And until we experience that contrast of being met on a deeper level or realizing that we want that, we don't even feel the contrast of it. So it's not a major active desire or vibration in our field until that happens. And then it activates and causes us to refine even more deeply what we want, and thus our point of attraction. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm not resonating with that behavior. I'm no longer going to put up with not being met on this level. And it's not even necessarily on the other person. It's more taking responsibility of like how I want to be met. And so I want to relate this to the idea of energetic boundaries, which I've discussed in a previous video that you can find right here on sovereignty, around bringing the energy back into our bodies and basically feeling that you're in your frame, your own perspective, in a solid energy in your body. That is the masculine energy, much like that is the stone through which the flow moves through, or the feminine energy, the creative essence within us. And yes, this does play out in relationship with masculine and feminine dynamics, but particularly with yourself, when you're shifting into a new version of yourself, as you're having a solid energy within yourself and you're raising your standards, right? You're no longer thinking that there's something wrong with you as to the reason why you've attracted this. You've now raised the standard of your own bar, and now you're holding a new container for yourself. You've raised the bar of what you now agree to experience in relationship. And that shifts you on the level of belief. That shifts you on the level of like what you're a vibrational match to and what you resonate with. So what's really interesting, I was thinking about this resonance thing and how people fall out of our lives, how new people are attracted into our lives, or even how relationships change. And I was remembering an early point in my journey when I was first going through my awakening back in 2014. I was about to go on a journey. I was leaving Indiana where I grew up, and I was going to go out to New Mexico and live off grid and go on this whole journey that I ended up going on. And before I was leaving, I started to go through this shift in myself, because I used to really always care what people thought of me. And as I was going through my spiritual awakening, I was kind of closed down because of patterns of the past and people not understanding me. So even when I started becoming more open and speaking in terms of energy, speaking in terms of frequency, talking about my meditation experiences, it wasn't resonating with people around me. And I wasn't connected with other people that were of this like resonance. and I hadn't met my soul family yet, or just people that you resonate with on that deeper level that are, more like that clear mirror. So that hadn't happened yet. And one day I asked Spirit for a clear sign, and Spirit said, follow your purpose and you will find your tribe. And I committed myself to that, and I experienced a shift on a core level. And then one bridge of incident after another happened as I assumed that was my new state. I was on this journey of purpose. I was on this journey of self-development, of transformation, of going deeper into my spirituality. Then I was invited to come to Sedona for the first time and reconnected with family I hadn't seen in a long time. And it opened up these doorways that I ended up traveling for years and going to different transformational gatherings, living really close to nature and diving into ancient wisdom for a while. And that was an initiation for me, because at that time when I was in the quote unquote, matrix, it's like the beginning of the Harry Potter stories where he's in the quote unquote muggle world and people are like, they don't believe in his magic or whatever. It was like that, except I was talking about energy. And I had a friend, and he was like, I remember talking to my girlfriend at the time, and I was like talking about energy and something in the chakras, and I started openly expressing this, and he just my friend snapped at me. He's like, there's no such thing as energy. And I was like, whoa, dude. And then what happened was, as I started to let go of the past, I started to let go of the cords and the attachments to that friend group. I would go to hang out with the friend group. It was like my high school friend group. And it was like, I was at this place where it was like I was no longer fully resonating with them anymore. And I remember feeling a little guilty, and they were trying to guilt trip me over certain things. I wasn't showing up to the friend hangouts or whatever. And it was like I was just no longer interested. I was more like I had just spent months going into meditation, and it was like we could no longer relate. And I just remember letting go of the guilt, and I also went in and I call it clearing cords. A lot of people talk about cutting cords, but that can give you an idea that you're destroying, or you're using scissors or something. I call it clearing because it's like you're actually letting go of the cords of attachment on the base level, on where they're connected to your energetic and subtle bodies. I prefer imagining that I'm clearing it, because I believe there's also different soul lessons, so that also as I clear cords of attachment, I also forgive and I take full responsibility and I reclaim my energy. That's what I mean by reclaiming your sovereignty, is that I bring my energy, any part of myself that was lost in those past energy dynamics, into my body, and then I clear my energy of their energy, and I say me to me and you to you. And then I say, I am one with source, and then I let them sort me out, and I let them sort them out, and I let me sort me out, and then I let them go. And as I let those cords go, I actually send these golden energy blessings along the threads that I'm letting go of. And I believe that on a soul level, on a causal level, we're all connected because we're all one being. But I believe that those connections can get distorted, like there's this gunk on the threads. So sometimes it's not that you're not cutting, you're not destroying the connection, right? You're letting go of this kind of thick cord that is on top of the pure truth. And you can let go of the cord and still be connected to that person, even if you're no longer in physical contact with them, or you're choosing to let go of them from your life and love them at a distance. It's like you're still connected to the blessing and the gift that exchange of energy brought to you in your life. So you're not dismissing that or discounting that, because I think that if we don't integrate the shadow and we don't forgive and also send a blessing, what sometimes people do, and this is a distortion, right, is that they go straight to trying to cut it out of their life, and then they send a curse instead sometimes. And I think a lot of people don't actually know that they're doing that you actually, when you curse someone, you're actually like sending that, and you're creating like a karmic contract with that. So it's like really good to go bring it to the source within yourself and clear it at the deepest level, And then as you let it go, send it off with a blessing. And then it's like you can really be free of it. And then you actually do them a favor. Like even if you're letting go of them from your life, you integrate the blessing of that lesson, and you don't spiritually bypass, the integration of the gift that experience brought you. So anyways, going back to that story, after the friend did that, I started letting go of all of that, of all the people that I didn't resonate with, and that it was like a journey into a whole different reality. So that when I went and traveled, I started meeting people that were all over the world that were part of this shift in consciousness, and started meeting my soul family, or you could call the soul tribe, or those people that you resonate with, and you're all expanding your consciousness, and you're supporting each other along your journey, and you're working through the triggers and dynamics to grow and evolve, and you're bringing things into harmony and taking responsibility for yourself, and you see these divine reflections in those people that help to awaken your latent gifts and talents. Like that kind of expansion, those kind of relationships that are just deep and that are satisfying, with real connection. Like you feel this pure connection. And I believe on that level, on the deepest level, like we are all connected. And then I believe that there's like a constellation of people that as you're at a certain stage in your journey that you really resonate with, and that as you cultivate, as you clear that of the past, then you get to resonate with those people that you really vibrate with and that really support you. And then you start to have a whole new level of self-respect. And it gets to this point that I was learning about boundaries, is that as you have solid energetic boundaries and you have a new standard of self, like you have a new normal of the level of integrity, the level of depth that you, and the level of what you won't put up with and all this stuff, like as you encode that into yourself, other people will pick up on that energy and respect you. You will attract more harmonious relationships as you're more harmonious within yourself. And the past relationships or dynamics of soul mastery to work through those patterns and gain those lessons so that we can progress into greater levels of love and creativity and abundance and depth and intimacy and connection in our relationships, that we can be exploring our soul and be more in that flow state of that kind of that vibration. And that's what I realized at that time, is that when I gave myself the permission to let go of my old life, it opened up an entirely new world for me and began to attract those people that I really resonated with. And so working with clearing those cords, clearing those attachments, recognize that you're doing a blessing as you send that blessing energy and you let that go. You're freeing the energy, because love, the true love underneath it, is still there. But there's this almost like a thick black energy, and what happens is it connects your energy fields. And so if there's somebody that you're letting go of who's still attached to you, it's fine. Don't worry about them. That's going to feed that energy. You just bring the energy back to yourself, reclaim the energy to source, clear yourself, and then come into the new field. Bring into your new field awareness that which you want to resonate with, and then that old pattern is just going to vibrate out, and the new pattern is going to vibrate in. So it's about you. It's about prioritizing yourself and your own connection to source, and vibrating into that new energy that you want in relationship, and that kind of resonance that you want, finding the feeling of that within yourself and claiming it now. And then also what happens is that when that distorted thread or cord is held, and we keep reactivating, thinking of that person, wondering, feeling off-put when they want a message, or just being concerned in general about their reality, kind of taking care of their needs instead of our own, what it does is it leaks your energy, and basically it's drawing your energy out of your field. And this is especially tricky and delicate when it comes to romantic relationships, because there's a certain process of moving through the emotions and letting go and also reclaiming yourself to yourself, especially if it's like you outgrow that relationship, or it's just no longer a vibrational match. It's like you can still honor what that relationship brought and the gift of that. And at the same time, it's like bringing your energy back to yourself, because I've experienced that in past relationships too, is where I lost a part of myself because I became so enmeshed in the relationship. And then after it ended, I needed a period of time of reclaiming my energy to myself and rediscovering the full feeling of me. And that's also what's so powerful about spending time with yourself, and especially just sleeping alone, is because it resets your energy field and it returns all of your energy to yourself. And then as you do the practice that I discussed earlier, returning the energy to your body, clearing the cords, bringing it to the source, and then sending it off with a blessing and letting it go, you're going to start to feel more in your body, and you're going to start to feel the energy, the vibration of you. And this is also really good for empathic people who have a tendency to take on other people's energy, is that it gives you a solid sense of where you are and where other things are in the space, so that you have a sense of you within the space, even as you're interacting with other people. And that'll make you more confident, and also will actually create more ease and trust, and also being able to discern what's your energy and what's other people's energy. And as we're able to discern that, we're able to be more solid in our own state of consciousness and have more permission to actually be more authentic. And within that comes an attractive energy. So it'll start to attract people, especially as you prioritize yourself. You're going to attract other people who are prioritizing their own connection to source, who are living in their truth. It's like, a mindset shift that I've been going through is, what do I bring to the relationship? Not what can I get from the relationship, because who I become is who I'm going to show up as in all my relationships, not just my intimate relationship or my lover relationship, but my friendships and my family and my community at large. It's like who I am choosing to be and show up as is going to affect what I'm going to resonate with and what I'm going to share and the kind of energy that I'm going to bring to the table. So it's actually doing a great service to the world to be selfish and prioritize that connection, because then you actually have something to give and you're living more in that life of your dreams, because all of the people that you want to connect with and kind of relationships that you want to have already exist. It's resonating into that new resonance. And know that as you're going through letting go of the past, it's okay. It's okay to outgrow certain dynamics. It's okay to love at a distance. Remember that your happiness, your peace of mind, and your connection to source is core to your mental health, to your well-being, to your heart being open, and to you being open to inspiration, which allows you to be an inspired creator, which allows you to be successful, which allows you to pursue and receive right ideas, which are of service to other people and the best service to humanity. So thank you. Thanks for doing what you're doing. And thank you once again for tuning in. If you want to hit that thumbs up, help send it out into the YouTube universe. We are growing and expanding this channel. And also, if you want to subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already, send you a notification when the regular videos come out to help you stay tuned into alignment. Thank you and many blessings. I will see you on the next video.